Hello everyone and welcome. It's Puppy Duppy here to give you 5 tips on how to not suck in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now I know I have to start off by saying that yes, I'm aware of the whole pay-to-win loot box controversy that surrounds this game. Yes, I agree that it's ridiculous, but once you look past it, the game is actually pretty awesome. Alrighty then, now that we got that out of the way, let's get to the fun. We'll start with tip number 1. Play the objective. Pretty obvious, right? This should go without saying, but yeah, play the objective, people. If you're interested in lone wolfing it and you want to just get the most kills, play Blast, okay? Although getting lots of kills is never a bad thing, you can maximize your battle point intake if whatever you're doing involves the objective. Want to kill guys? Do it next to the objective. Want to snipe? Snipe the guys on the objective. Keep playing the objective and you'll be racking up those points in no time. Tip number 2, don't be afraid to die. What I mean by that is use a death to your advantage. Now, this doesn't mean you should celebrate when you die. You see this right here? Don't do this. So allow me to elaborate. As a defender, you are afforded an unlimited amount of reinforcements, which means you don't have to stress about losing too many lives. The trade-off is that you have to stress over capture points, because every time you die, that's one less person guarding the capture points. You're probably asking, P-dubs, buddy, where's the helpful tip? Hold your horses, kid, jeez. My point is that dying as a defender isn't so bad, so long as you manage to make it worth it. Don't die in vain. Make your sacrifice count. If you know you're not going to make it, do something to make that life meaningful. Sounds like I'm getting pretty deep, right? An example of this is if an enemy team armed the objective or is capturing the objective, and you're the only one around to do anything, go for it, buddy. Screw it. You might not be successful pulling it off. You might get your wig split. Who knows? But I can't tell you how many times I've lost a match because a team made no attempt to protect the objective. Make every life count. Tip number 3. Support when able to. Hey, so the cool part about Battlefront 2 is that, like other games with class-based gameplay, you can contribute to the game without being number 1 in the scoreboards. The officer class is a good place to start if you'd rather support than be in the front line. The officer class can buff himself and the surrounding teammates depending on what kind of star cards you have, giving them a slight edge before running into battle. I like to also have the officer's protective dome shield. This is especially useful when trying to lock down a specific area of interest. The specialist class's binoculars can see through walls, allowing you to get the drop on any enemy trying to flank you or your squad. And although you can't tag enemies like you can in Battlefield games, you can use the Assault class's locator dart, which does basically that. It locates the enemies for your team, which is pretty useful. So even if you're not actually shooting a guy in the face, you can still contribute to the battle. Now on to tip number 4. Make a game plan early in the match. Do you play conservatively to earn a hero, or do you spend as you go and as you see fit? This is probably one of the first decisions I end up making as the match begins. Do you try to save up all your points to spend it on a hero character? Or do you say funk it and spend it on whatever is necessary at the time? I know you really want to go ham on everybody with a lightsaber, but not everybody can be like Mike, alright? And that's okay. Sometimes the situation may call for a jet trooper or a Wookiee warrior, or maybe your team is in need of some air support or land vehicle support. Not every battle can be won the same way, so be ready and willing to adapt on the fly. If you're doing good enough and you choose to save for the big guns, then go for it. But it's important to try to make this decision early on, because them heroes ain't cheap. Now on to the final tip. A lot of players seem to overlook this. You know those vehicles that only cost 200 battle points? The vehicles that are often overlooked? Yeah, they're actually pretty useful. Now, I'm aware that these vehicles are not available on every map. My advice is utilize them. They're cheap to buy and can easily rack up points. Although they aren't the most glamorous vehicles in the game, they are still useful. You'd be forgiven if you've never used these vehicles before, because I didn't at first. But trust me when I say that they are useful as hell and often overlooked. My tactic is earn that quick 200 points, after that buy the vehicle and go to town on the enemy. These vehicles have a surprising amount of armor, and the guns that are equipped to them are quite devastating when the shots actually land. I say that because the only negative to using these vehicles are the awful accuracy. And if you die and lose the vehicle, there's barely any loss. And the next time you spawn, just buy another one. Before you know it, you'll have enough for any hero you want, so long as they're available, of course, because I've been there. I've had enough points, and then, of course, max number of heroes. Alright, those were my 5 tips for not sucking in Star Wars Battlefront 2. I'm just gonna go ahead and let this play, because I was going ham as Luke, and yeah. Thanks for watching.